A volcano that killed hundreds in 2018 is erupting again right now. Guatemala's Fuego Volcano has reached its most dangerous level in years, forcing thousands to flee as lava fountains shoot nearly 500 meters into the sky. This is what's happening right now, and the situation is still developing. Guatemala's Fuego Volcano erupted on Monday, August 4, 2026, entering what authorities are calling a critical explosive phase. The volcano, located about 44 kilometers southwest of Guatemala City, began spewing massive clouds of ash and sending pyroclastic flows down its surrounding ravines. The eruption started Monday morning with clouds of gas and ash rising above the volcano as lava and pyroclastic flows rolled down the slopes. Fuego is one of Central America's most active volcanoes and sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire. It has been erupting frequently for centuries, with recorded eruptions dating back to 1524. The volcano stands at nearly 3,800 meters tall and has been in a state of near constant activity for decades. But this current phase is among the most intense in recent years, prompting emergency responses from multiple agencies. The eruption has been classified as a Strombolian to Vulcanian type event, characterized by frequent explosions that produce ash plumes rising several kilometers into the atmosphere. These types of eruptions can last for days or even weeks, and authorities are preparing for a prolonged event. At least 1,699 people have been evacuated from nearby towns, according to officials. The evacuations were ordered in the areas of El Porvenir and Los Lejitas, both in the municipality of San Juan Alatenango. Guatemala raised its alert level to red, the highest possible, and moved 659 people from 8 villages to nearby shelters. About 10 more communities are expected to be evacuated as the volcano continues to show signs of intensifying activity. Claudine Galdes, executive secretary of CONRAD, Guatemala's disaster management agency, explained the challenge on the ground. She said, "It's not like in other countries where they say, we must evacuate and everyone evacuates. Here, it's a recommendation, and that's why we're visiting house by house to encourage families to evacuate." This approach highlights the difficulty of managing a volcanic crisis in a region where many communities are resistant to leaving their homes and livelihoods behind. At least 3 regions have declared red alerts, the highest level possible, to try to prompt more people to evacuate and move to shelters. A major highway near the volcano was closed and classes were suspended in nearby towns as a precautionary measure. The Education Ministry issued a statement suspending classes in all schools within the affected municipalities. The volcano is sending lava fountains nearly 500 meters high and pyroclastic flows in multiple ravines. Authorities issued an alert to pilots, warning that ash is affecting the airspace west and west-southwest of the volcano, up to the border with Mexico. The ash cloud poses a serious aviation hazard, and the Directorate General of Civil Aviation has warned pilots in the region to avoid the area entirely. Pyroclastic flows, fast-moving currents of hot gas and volcanic matter, are among the most dangerous volcanic phenomena known to science. They can travel at speeds exceeding 700 kilometers per hour and temperatures above 1,000 degrees Celsius. There is no outrunning a pyroclastic flow, which is why evacuation is the only reliable safety measure. The ash fall is also causing significant problems for communities downwind. Authorities have advised residents to cover water deposits and use face masks as protection from the ash. The fine volcanic ash can cause respiratory problems, especially for children, the elderly, and those with pre-existing conditions. The ash is also contaminating water supplies and damaging crops in the affected areas. Fuego's 2018 eruption was the deadliest in the volcano's modern history. That event killed at least 190 people and destroyed the village of El Rodeo, affecting up to 1.7 million people. The 2018 disaster was a wake-up call for Guatemala and the international community, exposing gaps in early warning systems and evacuation procedures. Since then, monitoring systems have been improved, but the sheer power of Fuego remains a constant threat to the communities living in its shadow. The 2018 eruption occurred without the typical precursory signals that scientists rely on to predict major events, which made it especially devastating. The pyroclastic flow that destroyed El Rodeo was one of the largest ever recorded at Fuego, and it caught residents off guard despite warnings from scientists. The current eruption is already producing pyroclastic flows, though so far they have been contained to the ravines surrounding the volcano. Authorities are closely monitoring the situation and have warned that larger flows could reach populated areas if the eruption intensifies further. Guatemala remains on high alert as the volcano continues its activity. Authorities are monitoring the situation around the clock and have urged residents in low-lying areas near the volcano to prepare for possible further evacuations. The Red Cross and other humanitarian organizations are on standby with shelters and supplies, ready to assist with any additional evacuations that may be needed. Scientists warn that Fuego could remain active for days or weeks. The Pacific Ring of Fire ensures that Guatemala sits on one of the most volcanically active regions on Earth. For the thousands of families who have already fled their homes, the question is not if the volcano will erupt again, it's when they will be able to return. The international community has offered support, with several countries pledging assistance for evacuation and relief efforts. The United Nations has activated its disaster assessment and coordination team to help Guatemala manage the crisis. The World Food Programme has pre-positioned supplies in nearby Guatemala City in case the evacuations become long-term. Local hospitals are also preparing for a potential surge in patients with respiratory issues caused by the ash fall. Doctors in the region have reported an increase in patients coming in with eye irritation, breathing difficulties, and skin rashes from the volcanic ash. Health authorities are distributing masks and advising residents to stay indoors as much as possible. The economic impact is also beginning to be felt. Agricultural communities in the affected regions rely on the fertile volcanic soil for their crops, but the ash fall is damaging fields and threatening this year's harvest. Coffee and sugarcane producers in the area are particularly concerned about the long-term effects on their crops. Fuego Volcano is a stratovolcano, built up by layers of hardened lava, tephra, and volcanic ash over thousands of years. It sits at the junction of three tectonic plates, the Caribbean Plate, the North American Plate, and the Cocos Plate, which makes it one of the most geologically active regions in the Western Hemisphere. The volcano has been in a state of near-constant activity since 2002, with regular eruptions producing ash plumes, lava flows, and pyroclastic flows. In 2021, a particularly strong eruption sent ash plumes over 20,000 feet into the air and forced the closure of the nearby La Aurora International Airport. Volcanologists from the Instituto Nacional de Sismologia, Volcanologia, Meteorologia y Hidrologia, INSIVIUM, are monitoring the volcano around the clock. They use seismographs, gas sensors, and satellite imagery to track the volcano's activity and provide early warnings to nearby communities. If you found this video informative, please like and subscribe for more breaking news coverage. Share this video to help spread awareness about the Guatemala volcano situation. Drop a comment below with your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe.